Rob Gravitt Trackstar team. And in the other Trackstar Sierra, Mike Smith's tiring. He's being passed by the very impressive James Weaver's BMW. So James is now 9th class leader and a new class lap record holder. And keeping ahead of Mike Smith in spite of the fact that he's got 180 horsepower less. Number 10, Guy Edwards, is third now in the second Rouse team car behind Gravitt and Hodgetts. Battling it out with the 4th place man, number 7, Tim Harvey. There he is. On to Knickerbrook. Edwards in 3rd position, Harvey in 4th place. Up to Druids. And Guy Edwards is in his 24th year of racing. Formula One, twice winner of Oulton's Gold Cup, and he's the man who pulled Nicky Lauda out of that blazing Ferrari in 1976. And he got a Queen's Gallantry Medal for that. Tim Harvey behind him, his 9th year of racing. Karts, Formula Ford, sports, saloons, he's driven them all, and he's in 4th position here. 17 Ford Sierra turbocharged Cosworth cars started this race, and they are really dominating things at the front and, of course, in Class A. And number 21, Rob Gravitt, hasn't got far to go now. If he can hang on, it's going to be a great win for him ahead of Chris Hodgetts and Guy Edwards. But Guy Edwards is touring. There's Guy. He's blown the engine. See the smoke pouring from the back, pulling off the course, out of the race. This is not the Rouse team's day. And it's not Chris Hodgetts' day either, after all. He's limping. Slowed right down. He's got a right front puncture. And that's Mike O'Brien coming up to pass him. Mike's well down the field, though. So Chris Hodgetts trying to get back to the pits to change that front wheel and tyre. On, slowly onwards goes Chris Hodgetts, and Mike O'Brien loses it. And drive assured, it says on the side. Well, Mike O'Brien regains the course. And it's going to be 32-year-old Rob Gravitt's race, all the way from Australia for his Sierra, and victory first time out. A superb achievement. Well done, Rob. And there is James Weaver winning Class B in the white BMW M3. Maximum points in his class. And as Weaver tours in, an exhausted Mike Smith in the second Trackstar Sierra just beats the rejoined Chris Hodgetts to 7th place. Mike Smith comes in, demonstrating the massive dent where he hit Graham Good. But he's finished the race. And there it is. Turbocharged Ford Sierra Cosworth 1st to 5th. Weaver's 2.3-litre non-turbo BMW 6th. And a very happy Rob Gravitt.
First time out, and the boys, they've worked so hard the last 2 weeks. They've only just arrived, these cars from Australia. They've been working 48 hours in a row, no bed. Amazing, I'm really pleased for them. What can I say?
Great effort from Gravitt, but class winners like John Cleland in Class C get the same championship points. Cleland gave a very impressive debut to the Vauxhall Dealer Sport 16-valve Astra GTE. Never headed in the class, he set a new lap record, and the Scotsman is already most people's tip for the overall championship title. Class D victory went to Jeff Kimber-Smith in his Toyota Corolla GT. But that was only after the demise of Phil Dowsett, the man who dominated the class last season and came close to winning the championship himself. Dowsett, struggling for finance and a late entry in his Toyota, was leading the class very comfortably when he was forced out with a broken drive peg. Even then, Kimber-Smith only just managed to take the points, forcing his car over the line on the starter motor after suffering a fuel problem on the very last bend. So drama among the lower classes, but not exactly the high drama that already leaves the quickest man in the field off the pace in the championship contest. his exit leaves Gravitt, the Class B winner James Weaver and the Class C winner John Cleland tied for the championship lead. Jeff Kimber-Smith on reduced points in Class D, but expect Rouse to come powering back in the next round at Silverstone on Sunday week.
That's in about 20 minutes' time. But now it's motor racing, and as promised, the second round of the SO British Touring Car Championship. We're following all 13 rounds of Britain's premier saloon car championship. Round 2 was at Silverstone. Before that, a mystery needs to be resolved from round 1.
Andy Rouse in the Caliber Sierra had won 9 rounds last year, and at Alton Park in the first round of this year's championship, he was leading again, albeit hounded by the charging Rob Gravitt. But then came the moment that put Rouse comprehensively out of the race. Surely this wasn't driver error. Only later was Rouse able to pinpoint the cause.
The steering rack broke, of all things. We didn't realise that at the time. We weren't sure whether I'd made a mistake or it had a puncture or what. But having studied the film after the race, we could see that the steering wheel was no longer connected to the front wheel. I think it was just a faulty component in the steering rack itself. A bearing in the rack broke up and allowed the two gears to disengage.
But it all meant that as the field assembled for the second round on the Grand Prix circuit at Silverstone, Rouse's challenge for the title was already handicapped by first round failure, just as it had been the year before. At Silverstone, though, Rouse has comfortably claimed pole position by almost a second from the Alton Park winner Rob Gravitt. The all-important class winners from Alton Park, the challengers for the overall title, Gravitt, the Class A winner, tied for the lead with James Weaver, first of the Class B BMWs, and John Cleland, absolutely dominant in the Class C 16-valve Astra GTE. On-board camera with Gravitt, as well as 6 other cars in the packed field, including James Weaver, who was likely to come under intense pressure from his pro-drive BMW teammate Frank Sittner. But the BMWs back down the grid as the field rounds Woodcote, approaching the rolling start. Second round of the SO British Touring Car Championship, with Rouse on pole, Gravitt alongside him, the Labatt Sierras of Tim Harvey and Lawrence Bristow waiting to pounce from the second row. As we join commentator Murray Walker.
The pace car peels off into the pit lane and the 15-lap race is on. Gravitt noses ahead. There's someone cutting across, and oh, there's a spoiler off. A spoiler onto the grass. Into Cops, Rouse, Gravitt, Harvey, Bristow, good. And there's a BMW with a spoiler off. It's Frank Sittner's, the British champion. So, round the left-hander at Megas. Up towards Beckett's. Rouse, Gravitt, Harvey, Bristow, Graham Good. Then Chappell. Down the long hanger straight. Up to 155 miles an hour. And helicopter pilot Lawrence Bristow in the blue Sierra takes a look, stays behind Tim Harvey. Andy Rouse leads, Gravitt second, Harvey third, Bristow fourth. Out of Stowe, down towards Club, that's 4th gear and 95 miles an hour. The free Ford Sierra still up front, then it's Graham Good in 5th position, behind Good, Dave Brodie and Hodgetts, and that is Guy Edwards, number 10. Now we're in car with Jerry Marney. Unhappy with his tyres during practice, he's chasing Mike Newman in the black Sierra. Approaching Bridge, the left-hander, past Newman, down into second gear at about 60 miles an hour. Ahead of us now, Guy Edwards, Mike Smith of the red and white Sierra, coming up to the chicane. They've got to peel off to the right when they go through there. They turn in, and Edwards hits Smith. Edwards hits Mike Smith's Sierra, and a solid stream of Sierras and BMWs pour out nose to tail. Up to Cops Corner. Rouse, 4-time British champion, leading. Then it's Rob Gravitt. Look at them. They're easing away a little from the scrap behind them between Tim Harvey in the blue Sierra, his teammate Lawrence Bristow. Now up to Chappell, building up to 150 miles an hour as they approach Stowe Corner. And it's 4 times British champion Andy Rouse leading Rob Gravitt in the Australian-built Sierra, and now this is Rob Gravitt's car. 22 years old, Rob Gravitt from Maidenhead, the winner and the lap record holder at Alton, chasing Andy Rouse.